A few years ago, I was in West Africa, just outside of Freetown, Sierra Leone, in one of the suburbs of the city called Waterloo. And we were doing an open air meeting out there in the middle of a big soccer field. And what they didn't tell me before I showed up was the soccer field had been cursed by one of the local witch doctors. And like 6 or 7 kids over the last year had fallen dead playing soccer on that soccer field. So everyone was afraid to go on the soccer field. People wouldn't even walk across it for fear of dropping dead. So I did my 3-day crusade every evening in the middle of this soccer field, and hundreds and thousands of people showed up to receive Jesus, and we saw scores of healings, salvation. A lot of Muslims got saved. Anyway, the last night of the crusade, they bring me this guy, and I kept asking, what's this guy's story? And they said, he's mad. He's the madman. And I said, well, how long's he been this way? And they said, well, over 10 years. So the guy had been completely insane for over 10 years. I don't think up until that point in time I had ever seen anyone completely dressed in rags. His hair was all over the place. There were leaves and twigs in his hair. He had this crazy look in his eye. And when he was looking at me, his eyeballs were darting all around like a squirrel running around. Anyway, they brought this guy. I'm looking at him, he's looking at me, but his eyes are all over the place. And I walked up to him and I grabbed him by the head and I started releasing the fire and the power of God, and his eyes stopped darting all over the place and just locked on me. And I asked him a question. I said, do you want Jesus? And he said, yes, I do. So I lead the guy to Jesus. And I'm expecting this big demonic manifestation or something to at least growl at me or something, and nothing happens. And the guy's just normal, in his right mind, and he's accepted Jesus. He's saved now. And a day or two later, I'm back in the main city, and the pastors call from Waterloo and say, this man's so happy, his family's so happy, he's been completely insane for 10 years, completely out of control. Everybody in town's completely scared of the guy, and now he's normal. And they just wanted me to know that the guy's life and his family's life was completely transformed. So if God can do that in Sierra Leone with a guy who was completely insane for 10 years, what can he do with your stress, anxiety, depression, PTSD, your diagnosed bipolar disorder? It will melt like wax in the presence of God. So I just release right now that same power that set that guy free. That same power is available for you today to come in your room and completely break off of you whatever you have been suffering with, in Jesus' name.